A tilt of the head, a verbal cue, and specific facial expressions are just a few of the tics we see certain actors display. Sometimes, actors just can't help it when their quirks and mannerisms slip into their roles. They carry specific traits from role to role, and once you spot them, it's impossible to unsee or unhear. Let's see which actors have noticeable traits that pop up in their roles.
Wow, right?
If you're a fan of Friends, this is going to change the way you view Jennifer Aniston's character Racel. Throughout the show, Aniston will start a sentence by coughing and clearing her throat. It's subtle, but once you notice it, it's impossible to not hear it every time it happens. And it happens a lot.
Well, now you do realize, let me just,
Now when you watch Friends, you're gonna notice this verbal cue every single time.
I don't know how I feel.
Steve Carell is known for his comedic bits and timing, but one signature trait of his stands out. He makes a lot of weird noises. From The Office, to Anchorman, to Get Smart, and many more. Carell can't seem to help making an allotment of strange noises. When you catch him doing this, it definitely feels more like Steve himself than the character he is playing. That being said, there are a lot of great unique characters with this quirk. Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda Maximoff is one badass superhero who can deliver an incredibly intimidating stare, but she also delivers a cute, quirky facial expression. Keep an eye out and it won't take long to discover the Avenger scrunching up her nose. We see her do this in Captain America: Civil War and several times throughout WandaVision. This is the side of the Avenger you would want to see if you ever met, because being on the other end of her cold stare would not end well for you.
Oh, it's such a strange sensation. It's kind of fluttery.
There are too many movies to name when it comes to the amount of times Owen Wilson has uttered this exclamatory word. Wilson can't help but murmur this word in every role he plays. He has done it so many times that you can spot variations in the way he says it, from loud and in your face to quietly whispering it to himself.
Wow. 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 Wow.
This has become a staple of Wilson's characters, and you can almost guarantee a wow in every movie he is in.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that.
If you're a fan of Twilight, you may want to look away. Kristen Stewart has a very noticeable habit in these films. She exhales nervously. She does this throughout the entire Twilight series as her character Bella Swan. She can also be heard doing this in her other movies as well, such as Adventureland. And once you hear her do this back to back to back, you realize how consistent it is. She seems to be nervous in a lot of her movies. Here's something interesting about Kaley Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory. She loves to purse her lips. We see this throughout The Big Bang Theory, whether she's annoyed or telling a joke or just going about her day. We also see Cuoco pursing her lips in other roles, such as in The Flight Attendant, and we even see her doing this in real-life interviews. Wherever Cuoco goes, this trait follows.
What's up, Buttercup?
Goldblum has one of the most unique ways of delivering his lines. He doesn't read them straight through like most would. Instead, he has a stammer filled with uhs and ums that make his characters take more time than normal to deliver lines. We see Goldblum with this stammer in multiple roles, from Dr. Ian Malcolm to the Grandmaster in Thor Ragnarok.
But life finds a way.
Ask for I call contender.
At this point, it would be weird if Goldblum didn't stammer his way through his lines.
There's another example.
Ben Stiller is a very emotive actor, and we noticed one recurring gesture he does throughout his movies. Whenever Stiller's character has a line that includes the word a little, he does the same hand motion to emphasize his point. We see this in Night at the Museum, Duplex, Meet the Fockers, Little Fockers, and more. Once you pick up on it, it's something you'll notice across his characters.
and it just made me feel little. I felt like a little man who didn't like flan.
Keanu Reeves is one of the most beloved actors right now, which means we also love all of his quirks, including his propensity to say "whoa" in every movie he is in. Much like Owen Wilson's wow, the whoa seems to be a catch-all word Reeves uses to express his surprise. In Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, in The Night Before, and in The Matrix. We say the same thing when we see you, Keanu. If you watch a Matthew McConaughey movie, odds are you'll hear his character say "alright" multiple times.
Alright, alright, alright.
It's something that McConaughey says in multiple roles of his. We hear it in Dazed and Confused, Glory Days, and The Wedding Planner, just to name a few. It's a word that has become synonymous with McConaughey's characters because of how often he says it.
Alright. 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 Alright.
You can watch any George Clooney film, and chances are you'll catch him tilting his head. It's something he does in practically every role he plays, as it just comes naturally to him. There are actually so many examples of this that it would take several minutes to show them all. Clooney is one of the most charming actors in Hollywood, and his signature head tilt is a reason for that. We're sure we'll keep seeing this as long as Clooney keeps acting. Harrison Ford likes to make his point in movies, pun intended. Whenever he's lecturing someone or telling them something important, he emphasizes it with a point of the finger. It's a rather aggressive and in-your-face gesture that crops up in multiple different types of characters he plays, as Han Solo in Star Wars or as the titular Indiana Jones. Ford makes sure you are paying attention to what he has to say.
It's over, enough!
If you watch Jon Bernthal in The Walking Dead, you'll notice that he likes to rub his head a lot. He does this whenever he's anxious. In 2 seasons as Shane, he rubs his head roughly 25 times. It's a tic that will catch your eye, and you won't be able to stop looking for it once you find it.
Because now...
Batman v Superman. You went into the theater expecting to see an epic showdown between Lex Luthor and Superman. But before you knew it, you were more focused on Jesse Eisenberg's odd tics. Eisenberg does this throughout the entire movie, and it was a very distracting tic to say the least. We'll have to wait and see if this comes back the next time Eisenberg plays Lex Luthor, if he ever gets the chance to play the character again.
No, ma'am.
You may be familiar with the phrase, "my man," but did you know its popularity comes from Denzel Washington's liberal use of the phrase? Washington uttered the phrase 7 times in American Gangster, and the line has since become associated with him.
My man. My man. My man. My man. My man. My man.
SNL even had a sketch that included the phrase, making sure to note that it was the Denzel Washington version.
My man, but like the way Denzel Washington says it.
We must admit, no one says it better than him.
My man.
It's fun to watch such talented individuals accidentally bring some of their personal traits into their roles. We wonder if we will continue to see these quirks and mannerisms in future roles these actors portray. Who do you think had the most noticeable tic? Let us know.